This episode of Distraction is sponsored by Omega Bright CBD, formulated by Omega Bright Wellness, creators of the #1 omega-3 supplements for the past 20 years. Omega Bright CBD, safe, third-party tested, and it works. Shop online at omegabrightwellness.com. And by Landmark College, offering comprehensive support for students with ADHD and other learning differences. Learn more at lcdistraction.org. Landmark College, the college of choice for students who learn differently. Welcome to a mini episode of the podcast we call Distraction. These mini episodes are so much fun because everyone likes quick. Well, what could be quicker than saying no? N-O, no. And yet, that single monosyllable comes so difficult to so many of us. We end up saying yes to what we don't want to do. We end up resenting the person, the project. We walk around feeling embarrassed, upset, frustrated, chastising ourselves, resenting the people who asked us. And it's all because we didn't know how to say no. I think the key to it all is finding ways of saying no that don't make the other person feel bad or you feel bad. So, for example, someone asks you to serve on a committee. You don't have time. So what you say is, boy, thank you for asking me to serve. I'm honored. I'm flattered. And in other circumstances, I'd love to do it, but I just don't have the time to do the job I would want to do. I would feel bad if I agreed to do it, and I just couldn't live up to it. This actually happened to me. I was asked to be on a board of trustees at a school. I accepted because I was honored. I had gone to the school myself, and boy, did I ever regret it. I just wasn't able to do the job the way it needed to be done. I felt embarrassed. It just backfired completely. And it was my inability to say no that trapped me. Then I was into it, and to this day, I feel guilty that I didn't do it better. I let them down, and I did let them down, so don't get yourself into a situation where, your inability to say no leads you to commit to something you really shouldn't commit to, can't commit to, don't want to commit to. Try not to let yourself get inveigled, persuaded, seduced, flattered, guilted into saying yes to something you don't really want to do. Another another good way of dealing with this is just to set your default position to let me get back to you. Instead of yes or no, just say, gosh, that's an interesting idea. Let me get back to you. And that gives you time to ponder it, to talk it over with someone else, so you don't, on the spur of the moment, blurt out an answer. Most of us, the answer we blurt out is yes, or a no that seems peremptory, seems curt. No, something like that. We don't want to say no like that. So if you set your default position to let me get back to you on that, that buys you some time to ponder it, wonder about it, talk it over, and compose a response that is polite, considerate, and will be appreciated by the other person. It's like a salesman. Any salesman that's pressuring you, that's my best offer, you've got 30 seconds to decide. You should say no and walk away. There's no reason on God's green earth that you should have to make a decision in 30 seconds unless someone is hemorrhaging and they're on the operating table. Then you've got to clamp off the artery. But very few decisions are like that in real life. Most of them, if you're feeling pressured, it's the fault of the person pressuring you. Don't succumb to it. Say, fine, my answer is no. If you're saying I've got 10 seconds to decide, no. I can't do that. I can't make a good decision under that kind of pressure. So there are ways, if you will give yourself permission, there are ways to say no or buy yourself time, and that all parties will end up feeling better about it. Okay, this is Dr. Ned Hallowell with a mini episode of Distraction. Remember to reach out to us, and how we love it when you reach out to us with your questions, show ideas, comments. Send along your favorite recipe or a picture of your dog if you'd like to. I adore dogs. Our email address is connect@distractionpodcast.com. Connect@distractionpodcast.com. Distraction is created by Sounds Great Media. Our producer is the beautiful, talented, and continually fertily imagined Sarah Guertin. And our recording engineer and editor is the princely, triumphant, and brilliant Pat Keogh. The episode of Distraction you just heard was sponsored by Omega Bright CBD, formulated by Omega Bright Wellness, creators of the #1 omega-3 supplements for the past 20 years. Omega Bright CBD, safe, third-party tested, and it works. Shop online at omegabrightwellness.com.